Hello, everyone. Welcome to the collaboration space. I'm your host, Nancy Lucier, and joining me today is Michael Vivian from Liberty AV. How are you today, Mike?
Fantastic, Nancy. How are you?
I'm doing well. And today we're going to talk about seamless video distribution across the enterprise and around campus. So, Mike, can you kick us off with kind of sharing, what are the systems that we're looking for to get that seamless video distribution?
So you're looking for AV over IP video transport systems, right? Those typically come with an encoder, which is going to send the signal out to the televisions that you're going to distribute video over. And then on the other end is going to be a decoder. So what we're doing is transporting that video over IP from the source over to the display. In addition to that, you're going to want to have some sort of controller that allows you to switch from one display to another. So if you're running a digital signage application in the enterprise and you want to switch content to all the displays, then you can simply do that with a controlling device that allows you to switch the source of video over to those displays. That source can be multiple sources to multiple displays or a single source to multiple displays. It all depends on the topography and what you're trying to accomplish or what the desired outcome is.
So it sounds like I can have a lot of control over what I'm sending to each display, whether I want the same message, as you said, or different messages for different areas.
Correct. And it's the same thing for, on campus too as well, distribution of video over on campus. Mm-hmm. There could be different sources for different areas of the campus, depending on where you are. If you're in the food court, maybe there's some things that are coming from sponsors, the digital signage applications in there. Maybe there's a sports bar type application within the campus where students come to watch games, and so there might be different games from different sources that are going to different TVs within the area, or there could be just that one game you want to distribute through the entire bar. Now, one of the key things in having a video transport system is you want to make sure there's no real latency between the video distribution from one television to another. For instance, you don't want half the bar to recognize that the touchdown has just occurred during the game, and the other half of the bar is still catching up. Right?
Yeah, we're wondering what happened and why everybody is cheering.
Right. So everybody's looking, wait a minute, we got to go to that side of the bar because they got the signal.
Yeah.
So you want that what we call simulcast effect from your video distribution system, so that everything on all those displays is being transported at the same exact time, regardless of where you are in the environment.
Yeah, I can see why that's important. So you talked a little bit about on campus. Can you share some other use cases for on campus and also in the corporate world for this system?
Sure, absolutely. Again, digital signage distribution on campus. It could be also live video distribution on campus, depending on where you are. It could be for wayfinding purposes, so that as different events happen throughout the campus, you can make sure that those digital signage displays are displaying the content necessary in order to have people find their way around the campus. Mm-hmm. So there's a number of different applications that you can use for video transport, and then those displays can be converted in a mass notification system, and all of them converted over to please exit the facility, exit here, don't go mm-hmm. here, whatever it is that you want to say is your message for mass notification. So there's a number of applications where you can switch those sources either for emergency use or just for recreational content. Same thing goes for the enterprise, right? So in the enterprise, you could have, what to find on this floor. If you're going, let's say, in a corporate office environment where there's multiple offices for different, let's say, doctors and financial services and things of that nature in a single area, you could use that. So, where do I go to see my doctor, right? So there could be digital displays there too as well. But when you get to that floor, you could have other content that's being distributed. So it could be used for digital signage applications, as well as information, supported throughout. So if you've got a corporate environment where you've got company messaging and things of that nature that are internal of nature within the break rooms, but you've got external customer-facing content, that could all be distributed from different sources and managed from that same control unit.
So if we're thinking about like maybe banks, right? Maybe they have a system for their staff, but when I'm waiting in line, for a teller, hopefully not too long, but maybe I want to see the traffic and the weather, so I can kind of send that inside the different branches.
Yeah, absolutely. Or current exchange rates, or and those things are dynamic. So if you're changing content on that, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. You could also be showing different advertisements for that banking system too as well.
Yeah, sounds great. So I have a lot of digital signage. I have a lot of places I want to put my content. Now I need to look for the solutions that we're talking about. So what do I need to consider when I'm finding the best system for my needs?
Well, the first thing you need to consider is, from a specification standpoint, you know, is there a lot of latency in the signal? In other words, in the distribution, right? Am I getting different content like we spoke about earlier on different areas of the distributed video? The other thing is the latency and switching. How long does it take for me to switch from one piece of source to another on that display without having this significant loss? And then it's all about, from the installation standpoint, ease of use, right? The end user it has to be simple and easy for the end user to utilize and to manage, as well as it has to be simple and easy for the integrator to be able to
Mm-hmm.
install and deploy, right? You want it to be scalable, very easy, very simple and easy to deploy. You don't want it to have a lot of heavy programming, things of that nature, right? And then the bandwidth of the signals that are going through, you definitely want to be able to select what you need for that specific application, whether it's a 1 gig system or a 10 gig system, depending on the type of content, whether it's 4K or 1080p, right? So you want to make sure that you're matching the specifications of those devices to the resolution that you're looking to have output on the display.
Okay. And there's probably, there's this upfront cost, I know, but then there's probably, maintenance and scheduling. So what goes into kind of my total costs, and how do I get the most value out of the investment?
Well, interestingly enough, there's opportunities from different suppliers, right, where total cost of ownership is very low. If it's deployed properly, then that end user, has a fixed cost on there. There's not a managed service cost requirement. There's a lot of firmware maintenance updates. There shouldn't be anyways on these systems. They're pretty fixed deployment systems, so you don't have ongoing maintenance concerns, things of that nature, and so it should be easy for the end user to utilize. Is really the key. Is really being able to utilize that system, be able to manage the content of where they want it to distribute it very simply and easily. And so the control system for the end user that gets deployed, that user interface, needs to be simple, easy to understand, so that they can have a great experience and an excellent outcome.
Yeah, sounds good. And we hear a lot from customers these days, about availability of products, and how long does it take to ship things? Can you share with us a little bit about the availability of Liberty AV solutions?
So, interestingly enough, we don't have a supply chain issue with this product right now. However, we are seeing a lot of demands because some of our competitors are having challenges with supply chain. We chose a different chipset that we avoided the supply chain issue with. So we have plenty of inventory right now, and we have very short lead times for any inventory that we don't have in stock. So if we don't have it in stock for some reason, it's only a 4 to 6 week lead time. So availability is key. I wasn't going to mention that up front because you could have the best video distribution system in the world. If it's not available, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's good news to anyone in the market for such a solution. So, Mike, I want to thank you for your time today and sharing your knowledge and some insights from Liberty AV. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, and pleasure talking to you, Nancy.
You too. And for our listeners out there, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. And if you want to listen to the audio stream of the podcast, just search for the Collaboration Space on your favorite podcast app. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time in the Collaboration Space. For more information, visit AVI-SPL.com/Liberty-AV.